to get on the road to get to a bus that that the bus cannot go on the road is crazy. All right, but all those parks and all that stuff, you still need roads to get to them. If you can't get to them, they're no good. So again, like the gentleman says and everybody else says, please make that a priority and get these roads fixed so we could get to those areas that we have to drive from one side of town to another to enjoy. You know? So I say, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McPhee.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and other councilmen. My name is Catherine Washington. I'm a member of Mr. Washington District, not related. But again, I'm up here about Pasture Road in Wedgefield. We've been fighting this fight many years. A lot of y'all past chairmen know me from there. Mr. Nixon know me from there. So what is it gonna take to get road paved? We talking about bringing other people in, that's fine. Other people are brought in. Well, what about the people in Sumter County that paying their taxes here, who've been fighting for a road over 30 years? When you got people on the road that asthma, the ambulance can't get down the road. The bus got to stop most half a mile down the road for the other children from the other half to get to the bus stop. So again, like the other gentleman said, please put road as your priority. And please, as Mr. Washington said, consider what he has said for the agenda. We need help in the counties. We pay taxes, you pay road user fee, you get a lot of money out of the counties. We just ask you, please consider the roads, as everyone say, and put that a priority. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Washington.
Good evening. My name is Ovarian Sanders, Chairman, Vice Chairman, Councilman, and Councilwoman. I live in Brentford, South Carolina, District 1, and I am the road, I can't even begin to start, but road issues have been a problem. It's been a major problem for years. I'm 31 years old, and for that long, I just know that our roads have been bad. So, and it's getting worse. So we in District 1 fully support Councilman Washington's position on road funding. So can you please make that a priority? You're imposing a tax on ourselves, and if we agree to that, road paving and resurfacing must make it a priority. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are constantly reiterating about the roads and the area. I am. Yeah. I'm so used to counseling and briefing. I do this. My name is Linda Wilson. I live on 521 in the district of Mr. Washington, but I live on 521. But what I did, I went out, I got in my car and drove around to find out how the roads, primary and secondary roads they are horrendous. And I'm telling you things that I saw, not that someone told me. I took my car and I drove around. The roads are horrendous. Majority of them are dirt roads that have never been paved. That needs to be paved. We're asking, if you're asking us to vote on the penny tax, we're asking you to allot some of that money to resurface, pay for the first time, and get these roads in working order where some of us can drive on. I have relatives that I cannot visit because of my car won't let me drive it down those roads. Everybody here probably live in the rural area. I can appreciate Patriot Parkway. My children went to school in Sumter. I can appreciate that. But again, Chairman, we live in the rural area. We live in the area where the roads are not kept up or have never been paved. We're asking, we're pleading. You're asking your constituents to vote on a penny tax. we're asking you as constituents to use some of that money that we're voting on to pave our roads. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
My name is Michael A. Choice, and I say good evening to our robust chairman and vice chair and council members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you tonight. I would like to also personally thank Councilman Washington for doing an outstanding job in District 1. He is working very hard to improve our quality of life with the litter enforcement, the fire hydrant, and of course our community centers. And I want to say this to our council: I am not here to put you down or our county leaders. I can't walk a mile in your shoes, nor can you walk a mile in mine. I have seen improvements in the Shiloh community, mainly Highway 53. Narrow paved road, many of you remember how narrow paved road was. That was a bad road. It's better now.
Thank you.
And Patriot Parkway. However, we must continue with roads in Horatio, Higlet, Rembert, Dazzell, Wedgefield, Pine Woods, and Maysville. We have heard the majority at large toward road improvements. We have also heard how monies have been spent during the last two penny tax. I believe it's in time for a positive change on our next penny tax usage. The utilitarian approach is to achieve the greater good for the greater number who desire change. I believe now is the time for change. Let us agree on the next penny tax. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Choice.
I'm Jackie Hughes, and I live in the county. And good evening. I want to change the subject to litter. Back on the 16th of February, I wrote a letter to the editor of the item, a short history about litter. After almost a week of not seeing it in the item, I took a hard copy to them. I have not seen it yet. After several days, I called Ms. Green and left a message to call me. She has not returned my call as of this meeting. I wanted to know what the rules are to get your letter to the editor printed. I figured there must be some rules, as only about 1/3 of my letters get in the paper. When I asked the question about this situation, I was told that they have information to be printed and it will get in the paper when they get the space. This can't be true because 2/3 of my letters never get in the paper. I've had people ask me why I quit writing letters to the editor. It takes me 2 to 3 hours to write one, and I have figured out that there is no reason to write them if they aren't going to be printed. When Mr. Hubert Osteen was alive, every one of my letters used to get printed. I feel like I'm being censored. Now back to the letter to the editor about litter. I encouraged everyone to do their part in keeping our roads litter-free. I close by saying I spent 7 days cleaning up about half a mile on Lewis Road about 3 years ago. By the time I finished, I saw new litter where I had started. By the way, Lewis Road was cleaned up again last month, and before the green bags were picked up, which were a couple days later, there was more litter. I also said that we haven't heard from the Litter Advisory Board for a while. I hope they have some good news at their next meeting. We really need them. I don't do Facebook or any other ways to get my comments out in the community, so thank you for this opportunity to voice my concerns.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Anyone else? Hearing none, public comment is closed. Thanks everyone for your participation.
Move for adjournment.
Motion.